Hey guys, I'm David Humphrey, the original voice of Shadow the Hedgehog, and you're watching G to the next level.
Hey there, I'm G and welcome to the next level, and I'm here at Dragon's Lair, once again, LairCon 2024. Awesome little event ran by an awesome comic shop here in Houston, Texas, and I have with me a gentleman that I've wanted to meet for a very, very long time. He is one of the OGs, one of the original. If you've heard his voice and you've heard it, you're probably thinking in your mind, oh yeah, this is happening. Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, Mr. Ryan Drummond.
Hello, everyone. Hey, G, how's it going?
Great to meet you. Great to finally chat with you.
I know,
So
it's been a
long.
minute. Yeah.
Absolutely. So first of all, for those who don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Ryan Drummond. I've been a lifelong actor, and for the last 30 years or so, I've been doing voice acting, as well as many other things within the entertainment biz. But voice acting is kind of my primary thing.
Awesome.
And my biggest credit in the voiceover world is that of being the original video game voice of Sonic the Hedgehog, as well as talking toys and television commercials. So if you heard Sonic back in the late 90s or early aughts, that was me talking through your television.
That was him. And I remember distinctly. So I'm a Sonic fan from the very beginning. I'm a fan since 1991.
Nice.
I was one of the people who bought a Dreamcast on September 9th, 1999.
Yes, you did.
A whole YouTube video about
$99.99.
$99.99. And of course, just hearing the voice of Sonic for the very first time, like actually sitting down and finally getting a chance to sit in there, just hit me like a truck.
Oh, that's what we were going for.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
You nailed it really in the way that just the perfect level of just attitude. This the way that I thought. Okay, this is how I feel that Sonic was going to be voiced at that particular time for this character.
Good.
It just worked out. So first of all, I want to thank you for that.
Yeah, you're
because
welcome.
You were a huge chunk of the reason why I became such a Sonic fan.
Oh, yay. Well, that's really kind of you to say. Yeah, I actually, when I was able to get to the audition for Sonic, I didn't know what he was supposed to sound like. I didn't have any preconceived idea of what Sonic's voice should be like. And so I'm glad that you feel like the nail was hit on the head, because that's just kind of what came out that day. Quite without even thinking about it, really. I didn't have any time to prepare a voice or think about what it should sound like. They just said line one, ready, go. And I just started going, yeah, okay. and they were like, yeah, we like that choice. Do the rest of the script like that. And called me a week later and said, do you want to be Sonic? And I was like, yeah, I do. And 26 years later, we're talking about it.
Exactly. Amazing. So you didn't really have a whole lot of exposure to Sonic prior to voicing his role. Did you see
Correct.
yourself becoming more of a fan of the games or the comics or anything like that afterwards, beyond just
Absolutely.
doing the role?
Yeah.
But did you play any of the other games after Sonic Adventure?
Yeah. I mean, they always gave me copies of whatever I worked on, so I got copies of those things. So I played my own games, but I played Sonic Frontiers and I played Sonic Colors, and I've tried to dabble in all of them, just kind of see what's happening with the franchise. And I really enjoy them. I think all the games are really solid.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and each one is worth playing in its own different way.
Correct.
I love the fact that Sega is kind of tearing it between. So, I'm a classic Sonic fan versus being a modern Sonic fan. I'm a modern Sonic fan too. My
Yeah.
heart will always be classic, but
Yeah.
modern is amazing because it started from you again. And I love the fact that Sega is giving us both. Like, hey, here's a classic game, here's a modern game, and like it's just amazing how pretty much no matter what type of Sonic fan you are, there's something out there for you.
Right, exactly.
And that's why I love about it the most.
Well, they have a franchise now that's decades big, and how many people get to do that?
Right.
I mean, us and Crash Bandicoot. I don't
Right?
know, but
I know
it's-
some plumber.
Yeah,
something like
yeah, Wahoo! But I think they've done a pretty decent job of kind of honoring that entire tradition, and that's not easy to do when you're talking multiple decades.
No.
Yeah, because
No.
each era, whether it be from the voice actor that voiced the era, or just the style of the artwork or the style of games, going from a 2D to 3D or a side scroll, whatever, I think they've done a pretty good job of honoring all the different eras.
Mm-hmm. They have.
Yeah.
They really have. And then, of course, keeping it all together in the timeline, too.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
How familiar are you with Ninja Turtles by any chance?
Oh, a little bit. Yeah.
Do you remember Turtles Forever? Where they basically
No.
went through different like multiverses, or even say like Into the Spider-Verse, something
Sure.
like that.
Yeah.
How would you feel if they did something like that with Sonic?
We keep trying to make that happen.
You need to.
So write your favorite people at Sega and Paramount and tell them that
Please.
we all have different agents that work for us. So we don't have like the same agent,
Right.
So we all have our different agents that are always petitioning to the powers that be, saying, you know what would be the easiest way to sell an extra million tickets to your movie?
Right.
Is if you had a little cameo from each era. You know, Ryan does this, Jason does this, Roger does this, throw Devin Mack in there. You know, it's like give everybody their own little thing. And that way, everyone who identifies with that particular era the most will have a representative in the movie. And it'll make everyone want to go see it even more so than they do now.
Nice.
And so far, they just haven't taken us up on it yet.
You have the power.
But
you have the power.
We know how this is going. Sonic, the first movie did great. Second movie did even better. This third movie, if you got money to pay Keanu, you're doing fine. And so, I just think it would be so cool to have everybody represented in one feature film.
Totally.
I think that would be really cool.
Totally.
Yeah.
And this would also be one of those cases too where, you know, classic Sonic doesn't have a voice. And say like Sonic process in generations, he would finally have a voice.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
like all that together and then bring you in there and that would be wonderful.
That would be something, wouldn't it? Put the word out there.
Oh yeah. Sega, make it happen.
Yeah.
Make it happen. Is there a particular character trait of Sonic that screams Ryan? Like, is there a particular character trait that you feel like suits you the most?
Good question. I have always come from the very primary thing is just energy. That was always the first thing, because they were like, he's a teenager, he's got attitude, you know, back in the day. And they were like, you know, this is kind of what his personality is. And to me, I just thought energy. So I always wanted to go 10 decibels louder. I always wanted to go 10 clicks faster. I always wanted to do everything a little bit more than your typical hedgehog. I just wanted it to be energized. And that was always my primary thing.
And Sonic's one of his biggest things is just being extra.
Exactly.
And that's exactly where that lands into.
Yeah.
Being extra. One step beyond.
Extra fast, extra funny, extra brave, extra everything. So energize it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So thanks, Duracell.
When dealing with different events and gatherings, conventions, meets like today, sure, we all have met with our different sorts of fans, people who enjoy, you know, your work and our content. Was there any particular fan interaction that touched you like the most that you could share with us?
Oh boy. And this is no joke. There's so many. There's at least a few every single event. And we probably go to 2 or 3 events a month. So that's lots of people and lots of different stories. But just to kind of generalize, like I never tire of hearing people say, you know, Sonic helped me through this tough time when I was a kid. Sonic taught me to be brave. I was bullied at school and Sonic, you know, gave me the tools to get around that and run really fast away from the bullies. You know, I had a really terrible family life and Sonic was my friend, or, you know, all those things. We just get stories all the time of how Sonic helped people in real life. And I just love the fact that I can be not even a cartoon, the voice of a cartoon character that actually helps people in the real world in real life. And to me, that's some sort of weird meta stuff, but it's cool. It's very cool. And I also just love the fact that there has been 25 years now since the original Sonic Adventure came out. And I won't say him by name, but I was at a convention this past February in St. Louis and I met this guy and he was a really big guy. Like I'm talking 6'4", 280, big guy. And we were talking about some of the voice work that I do for the Halloween industry. And that was what the convention was about. It was about the Halloween industry. And it just kind of came out in this meet and greet that, oh, Ryan does the original video game voice of Sonic the Hedgehog. And this big dude was like, no way. Can I hear a little bit of it? Because everyone is always do the voice. Of course. Dance, monkey, dance. And so we were just in the lobby of this convention center and I just turned to this guy and I started talking like Sonic and he was like, oh my God. I mean, big dude. And he was just like, I'm 9 years old. He had goosebumps all over his arm. And I was just like, see, that's what's cool about it, is that everyone has that thing from when they were 9, let's just say, or when they were little, that's just tattooed on their heart in a way that nothing else is. And Sonic is that way for a lot of people. And even for this big crazy Halloween dude, like Sonic was just his thing. And I love the fact that I'm very, very honored that I can be a part of that thing that just embodies childhood, good memories, good times, fun. Like, that's really cool. I always tell people like Big Bird is that thing for me. Like when I was a little
Yeah.
kid, Big Bird was my world. And if I saw Big Bird walking in this room right now, I would be a puddle on the floor. Because I'd be like, oh my God, it's Big Bird, you know?
Amazing.
And for some people, that's Sonic.
Yeah.
And that's so very honored to be a part of people's awesome childhood memories.
I can tell you this for me as well.
Awesome.
And
There you
this is
go.
one of the things, going back to the traits and sort of things that Sonic has that carries with you too, is one of the things that came with me is just how much he will do pretty much anything to protect his friends, his family,
Exactly.
his world.
Good point.
His world, everything he'll always protect. And protect what's the most cherished to your heart.
Yeah.
And that's what's always stuck with me.
That's the lyric right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's a lot of Sonic merchandise out there now. And I can tell you one thing that I kick myself for not buying it. I hope I can find another one because I immediately thought of Sonic Adventure because Jack Specific, they make these 4-inch figures. You've seen
Yes.
them around.
Uh-huh.
I didn't realize, it took me a moment. It didn't click with me until I walked away and I walked out of the store, but they made one with the board that he uses in City Escape.
Oh my gosh.
And I thought, because I already have plenty of Sonics.
Yeah.
So I was just saying, oh, it's just another Sonic figure. And then I looked at it again. I was like, wait
Yeah.
a minute, that's from Adventure.
Yeah.
So I went back for it. It was gone. I was
Oh
like, no.
man.
Is there a particular piece of Sonic merch that you have either found, bought, or maybe even a fan has given to you that you love the most?
Oh boy. Again, so much stuff. And I suppose if you're talking about like personal connection to it, I love the Sonic art that I've been given as gifts over the years. I have so much Sonic art, probably 1,000 pieces at least, of different Sonic things that people, actual talented human artists, have drawn and given to me as a present. And I think that is incredible, that the fact that they would take all that time to create. I have no drawing ability at all. So when someone can make like a really hyper realistic or just very cool Sonic and they give it to me, like that means the most. If you're talking about something factory made, I don't know. I dig that Sonic toothbrush that's out right now.
I did a video on that.
Yeah.
On the Firefly toothbrush.
That's
the
pretty
toothbrush
cool.
has the levels.
Pretty cool.
This is so cool.
I mean, you know, how better to, you know, get kids to brush their teeth better is have Sonic involved. And, you know, they're going to work on the chili dog flavored toothpaste. I'm sure that's coming next. But
well, there was already an energy powder for it, so why not,
that's
right?
That's
Why
right.
not? There's a G Fuel flavor. They didn't put it in a can, unfortunately. 'cause
Yeah,
I
but
would've
that
tried
peach
that.
ring flavored thing, that's
Yeah.
not bad. That
No.
is not bad.
No, that's actually quite good.
Yeah.
So,
Also, one of the coolest things is that I've seen a lot of Sonic tattoos over the years. And there was one guy actually from somewhere here in Texas, I might add, who stood in line and had me sign his arm under his Sonic Adventure tattoo.
oh,
And then he came back the next day and showed me that he had my signature tattooed on his arm. He tattooed over the Sharpie that I'd used. So somebody out there, you know who you are. You have a Ryan Drummond signature on your arm. And it'll be there after you're gone, you know.
jeez.
So thank you for the legacy.
dedication, and love and desire, right? That's amazing.
Pretty cool.
That's wonderful.
Pretty cool.
So I know that when dealing with all the different merchants out there, there's so much. So,
Oh yeah.
but it's always the ones that are giving to you the most that they really stick.
That's what means the most. Yeah.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Awesome. Are there any fun stories when it comes to voice acting? And it doesn't necessarily have to be Sonic, it can be anything. Are there any real fun voice acting stories that you could share with us?
You know, the fun's, well, it's all fun. Well, it's hard work too, but it's also fun. But probably the fun stuff comes when you have a director or a production company that is more about the entertainment of the product than the work of the product.
Mhm.
And so you go into the studio, and rather it be, you know, picking it apart syllable by syllable, they're a little more lackadaisical, not lackadaisical, but they're a little more fun.
Yeah.
And
a little
so,
more open.
yeah, so it's like you have to do the line the way it's written, but then maybe they'll say, why don't you can take your own shot at that line, say approximately the same thing, but use your own words, or, you know, do your own thing. And the fun about that is that sometimes the things that you do just off the cuff, just for fun, or to, you know, make the room laugh, it ends up in the final product. I had speaking of Halloween stuff, I had a Night of the Round Table bust that was at Target a couple years ago.
Ooh.
And you press the button and he talks. He's made out of like fake stone. And there was one line that was, never invite a dragon over for dinner. And I forget what the end of the line was, But after I had done the line a few times, they were just like, do your own thing. And so I said, never invite a dragon over for dinner. There's no punchline, just don't do it. It ate my dog. And I thought, there's no way, right? And then sure enough, when it showed up at Target, I pressed the button and he's like, it ate my dog. And I was like, I can't believe they put that in the final product. And there's things like that happen from time to time. I did a video game many years ago called Zax, Z-A-X. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of that game.
But it's a PC game, right?
It's a PC game. Yeah. Okay.
I think it's like an overhead adventure game. I believe I saw one of my friends stream it once. I think so.
So if you play that game, apparently, did I ever hear it? I think I did. We were doing the voice, and the producer was there, and he had told the whole room. He was like, "Okay, when we're done recording, I'm going to take you guys out to Fuddruckers." You guys have Fuddruckers here?
Oh yeah.
You guys know? Yeah, okay. This is probably where it comes from, Texas. What am I saying? So he was like, I'm taking you all out to Fuddruckers after the thing. And so on the next line that I read, as I was the lead character of Zax, I was just like, kill all these enemies and we're going to Fuddruckers. And they put it in the game. It's like a little Easter egg. So Zax said, we're going to Fuddruckers and stuff. And it was just something I just said, and it ended up in the game. So
that's awesome.
Those are fun. Those are really fun.
I wonder if how many people are playing that are wondering, just like, okay, what the heck is a Fuddruckers?
Yeah.
And they're looking at, those are burgers.
Yeah.
We might go to Fuddruckers for dinner, actually.
Oh, that's where we're going tonight.
Yeah. One last question.
Yes.
This is always one of my favorites to ask whenever I get a chance to meet actors such as
Better
yourself.
take a drink then.
Yeah, you might need it for this one. So, did you watch Saturday morning cartoons?
Yes.
All right. So, taking you back to your childhood. It's Saturday morning. You got your food ready, you got your breakfast ready, you got your TV on, you're watching your favorite shows. What are you watching? What do you eat?
Oh my gosh. Fruit Loops. Definitely Fruit Loops.
Follow my nose.
And it always knows. And this is gonna show you just my age, I guess. But when I was watching Saturday morning cartoons, I really liked the Smurfs.
Hey.
And I also never missed Bugs Bunny and Tom and Jerry. But Bugs Bunny was like
Tom and Jerry for life.
Tom and Jerry, and yes. And Bugs Bunny, those are the ones that I made sure that I was in the room for.
Excellent.
Because it was pre-internet, kids. You couldn't just pull up stuff anytime you wanted. You had to be there when it aired.
At 6 o'clock in the morning.
That's right.
Bright and early.
So Fruit Loops at 5:45.
You know, here in Houston, that's when they aired the Sonic cartoon.
It's 6 a.m.?
6 a.m.
Oh, that's not fair.
And I had to wake up for that.
Yeah,
and then
you
after
did.
I was done, it's like Free Willy would come and I'm like, I'm going back to sleep.
Yeah. Sorry,
And I
Willie.
would get up. Hey, you know what? It was worth it.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
Yeah, exactly, because it made a memory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's what we're all about,
Exactly.
is making good memories.
Well, Ryan, it's been a pleasure.
It's a pleasure,
Thank
man.
you so much
Yeah,
to
you
finally
bet.
meet you. And before I let you go, tell everybody where they can find you on the internet.
Okay, I'm on Twitter at Ryan the Drummond. Middle name is the, T-H-E. And then I just joined Instagram, so look that up on Instagram.
And of course, I'm at G to the next level, like welcome to the next level. But with a G like me, find me pretty much everywhere on the internet. On Instagram, I'm making stupid Sonic shorts. Help the channel out, subscribe and stuff. And on behalf of Mr. Ryan Drummond, I'm G, and we will see you on the next level.
See ya.